Yes, I changed my setup once again. Typically, I'd have to crawl behind to the chair there, but this makes it a lot easier to sit in this chair because right now I'm at the table, and so it makes it just a lot easier to sit down on this guy. But let's get right into the video. This is gonna be a shorter video for many reasons. One, because I'm getting back into a busy school year schedule, and so I need to figure out how everything's gonna work and how I'm gonna put videos out, like how much homework load I'm gonna have, all that crap. So I've been trying to figure that out, and so this video is gonna be a bit easier to edit and easier to put out for that very sake. But the really cool thing that I wanna share is something that's gonna be changing a bit in content. Lord willing. I recently moved my brothers back into their college dorm. That's not the exciting part. The exciting part is that one of my brothers, shout out to you, Sammy, he said, hey, I got all this equipment that I don't use anymore, and why don't you take it? For years now, I've had this one Scarlett, studio mic, and I've had this Scarlett Focusrite interface that I've been using, which, let me really quickly take a video of my desk and my setup to show you all. This is the setup. I'm gonna clean up, that's my water bottle, that's my shaker bottle. That's the topic of this video. That's a plate. I gotta clean up the dishes from breakfast this morning, I know. This is OBS, this is the mic that I've been talking about, this is the interface. That's a quote that I got from the gym. But you see, the discussion of today's video is the two mics that you saw. So one of the things that my brother said is, hey, I got these two mics I'm not using. I was like, can I have them? He said, yes, you can. So we have these two mics. We first have this off-brand mic. It's a Proformance P745. This is what the insides look like. Very simple mic design. Told me it's an off-brand mic. I don't know if it's gonna be of the greatest quality, but I might use this mic for a future purpose. Keep that in mind. I'm going to talk about that later in this video. We then have the Shure SM58, classic Shure design. You'll notice I'm being very careful with these. That's because I don't want them to break. And this unscrewing and screwing back on process at the top is not something a lot of people recommend. So I'm trying to be very careful with it. The Shure mic series that's like this, the SM50 somethings, are really good mics for extreme vocals. So this is what I'm really excited for, because I plan to start doing vocal covers sometime soon, and I have some collaborations, and I may or may not have a collaborations in the works with another creator to make a song that my vocals are gonna be on. Stay tuned for that, I'm excited. And who knows when that'll come out. It might be in a couple weeks, it might be in a couple months. It's still really in the works, but stay tuned for that. But this mic is really good. The Shure SM50 series is really good. I had like an SM50, I think it's an SM56 or an SM57. I don't know. It's either the SM56 or the SM57, something like that. Maybe it's the SM55 that is a snare microphone. I didn't have that one. I just had I think it's an SM56 is the one that's like this, except it doesn't have the switch. This switch is a little on-off switch, so like, this is great for like debate stages, where debaters they can turn on their microphone to talk, and then they can turn it off when they're done, so that they don't have to worry about a lot of feedback or a lot of unwanted noise. You just have that simple on-off switch. Overall, the Shure mics are really good for vocals, especially extreme vocals, which is why I'm really excited about this. And I really look forward to having this mic to do things like vocal covers. But with that in mind, let's test them out. I have these floodlights on to try to get better lighting, but I don't know if they're going to be good. Second note, I'm not warmed up right now, so if I do screams, they're probably not going to sound good. I might come back later when I am warmed up though. We're first testing out the Proformance P745 mic. This is what it sounds like when I'm talking. By the way, these types of mics don't require phantom power. The Scarlett mics like this or any condenser mic is going to require phantom power. But mics like the Shure SM58 and the Performance don't require that. They're what we call live mics. And that's just for if you're someone who doesn't know much about mics or doesn't really do vocals or just doesn't really deal with this stuff. That's what we call this. We call this a live mic. Why? Well, most live performances, you see somebody holding something kind of like this. It has a great sort of, not really funnel, but a great barrel type shape, not just to capture sound that's right in front, but all around the mic itself. It helps to get a more live sounding sound that is also good quality. Basically, they're not meant to capture sound at a very specific direction. They're meant to capture sound all around, which also makes them really good mics for crowd work. If I was doing a live performance with this mic, I'd have to hold it like this because you see at the top there's a line. This is meant to separate into two different segments. I'd have to hold it like this. And if I wanted to do crowd work, I'd have to hold it like this. Not a good idea. Also, that mic just requires phantom power, so it's really not as favorable to an electric bill as this one is. Anyway, let's get right into it. I don't have backing music, so we're just gonna try talking, then we're gonna try singing, then we're gonna try fry screams and false chord screams, and I'm not going to be warmed up when we do this, so just be fully aware. Anyway, let's try it out. Ah, 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 ah. Just some random notes. I never said I could sing. This is why I don't sing in a lot of my videos. Very Mozartian type scale. Oh. All right, let me think of a song that I can sing. I can't sing a lot of songs, so let me think of something. Maybe you were right, maybe I was wrong, but I've been silent for far too long. We'll see how that sounded. A lot of this, I'll see how it sounds when I'm done singing it, and when I'm done with all this, because I can't hear it back in my ears, because I don't have that set up. I could if I had something coming out of the Focusrite, but I don't, which is a problem, and I probably should fix that. Let's try like this holding. Tell me the waves won't rise, and monsters will fade with time, to temper the blade with the twist of a knife. That was sharp. I was sharp there. No. Anyway, I'm not warmed up, so let's try non-warmed up screams. Let's try fry first. Come on, let's get the undertone. There is a cat outside right now. There is a stray cat outside. Now what I'm more excited for is the Shure SM58. Tell me the waves won't rise, and monsters will fade with time. You may be wondering why I'm doing overtone singing. I'm testing the capability of this thing to capture different pitches, because with things like pig squeals, when you have a really piercing overtone, it's nice to know that it can capture that highness well. I'm not really focusing on trying to get a very specific note on the overtone. I'm more so just trying to focus on getting the overtone to really shine through. There. Nice. I'm not doing a lot of Kagura because since I haven't practiced vocals in a while, Kagura isn't something that I can really go into easily because my false forwards kind of got out of the stage of we're used to being used. And you might say, wow, you haven't practiced vocals in a while? Yeah, I've been sick and then I had to go on a trip. So that was me testing out all of these mics, or the 2 new mics that I got. I also got an interface, but it's an M Audio interface, and from what I know, M Audios are worse than Scarlett's. So I think if ever I have to go, if I have to travel someplace and I need to record a video, I'm gonna record using the M Audio and probably the cheap mic, because those are things that are more expendable for me. And then I'm gonna keep my really nice equipment here at home. That just makes the most sense to me. Anyways, I need to drink some tea or just eat a lot of honey, because doing all that non-warmed up is kind of, my throat's kind of now like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? This is awful. Which is another reason you shouldn't do any of this without being warmed up. But with that being said, I might come back and record some more vocals, just being warmed up. I might not. But with that all being said, I'm going to leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.